Hi everybody, this is going to be a video walkthrough of Verde Station. This is going to be a video explanation of the Beat the Game achievement. If you look at the actual achievement, it says beat in sarcastic air quotes, so you'll find out what that means when we get to the end of the game, of this video playthrough. I felt that it was unfair to have videos up for 11 out of the 12 achievements for the game, and I kind of wanted to do a playthrough just to show the actual game. I highly recommend actually playing through the game and exploring, checking out the floppy disks that you can find throughout the game from each room here and there, looking at some of the secrets and whatnot. This is going to be as brief of a playthrough as I possibly can, just to show you how to get the final achievement. So I'm going to start a new game. So the first task you need to do is to go over here and turn off the alarm clock. We'll go over here and we'll take a personality test, sort of like a mental check. Oh yeah, that's right, I have to build a profile since I restarted. And then you just answer the questions, answer them as best you can. You won't need to take it again, but it is offered as the story progresses. This is just sort of an introduction to the game, but you have to actually take this in order to start the process of being on the station. I probably could just press 1 for everything, but I like answering, like, honestly with some things. And it'll complete your profile now. I actually did really like this game. I thought it was really cool. I had a bit of like motion sickness when I was playing through. It was kind of unfortunate because I actually really liked what the idea was, but it can be a bit confusing as far as what you're supposed to do. You'll just need to go to every room of the station and find a monitor that looks exactly like the monitor that we just interacted with. And the goal of the game, or one of your jobs, is you do a system check for every room. So you'll go up to the main greenhouse. I'm not going to read through the messages. I kind of want to. I sort of wish I had a more narrative voice to kind of almost like do sort of acting with a walkthrough, but this is just going to be an overview for the game for the sake of the final achievement. So we'll do the system check, and each room that we go through is going to do a different system check, but it's pretty much the same thing. The lights will come on and off. Whatever object is in the room or whatever the main purpose of the room is going to go through a system check. It's very simple. But it'll be the same for all the rooms, and eventually you'll get a confirmation. This is just going to test the water as the last part of it. If you do notice, at the end it's going to give you a error that some of the valves are in a closed position and that you have to correct it. You actually cannot correct this. It is it's essentially a lie. But if you progress in the game, you'll actually find out what the consequences of that are. So the next room we have to go to is the lounge. It's in a definitely different state of array than the other rooms are. They were a lot cleaner. And there's even a stain on the ottoman here. Oh, this is one of the floppy disks that I mentioned. I mentioned in my guide for all the codes that there are 2 guides on Steam that go into some pretty heavy detail about this game. They explain the floppy disks. I think there's 7 or 8 of them available in the game. You can put them inside this console right here. This terminal right here has a port, and you can put the disks in, and then you can hit 6 to run them. We'll do the system check while we're here. These books you can actually, I don't know if I can try to do one while we're here. I know I said I'd keep it brief, but I figure interacting with a few things probably isn't that bad and it might be a little bit entertaining. Oh no. There we go. Okay, second try. But it will actually have a domino effect and it will knock down the books. And oh, one slid through the steps and knocked over. Oh, and then is knocking it backwards now. So, okay. That's interesting. But yeah, they actually will knock over in a domino effect. So I thought that was a really cool aspect to have added in. So okay, so once you've done the system check here, you can move on now to the kitchen. And realistically, this is the game. You go from terminal to terminal. You do the system checks. You make sure that everything in the base is good and is running effectively and efficiently. And one of the main points of this game is to get into this door here. That's where we'll have to. That's where we will end the game, getting through this door, and eventually we'll be able to get to the lower control room. If you noticed, beyond the table here that just moved, there's a little red light, sort of like a camera dot. One of the little red lights on a camera, a recording camera, is out there. And I thought that was really weird. I thought it was really strange that would be there. So I thought that added a really interesting little kind of piece of suspense of maybe things are not as they seem on this station. So, okay, and we'll come out here now. And now this room is entirely different, but we've only been gone for a few minutes, it seems. But there's like books on the table that weren't there before. There's a cup. And then there's a bunch of sticky notes all over the trees. They're all named now. That's really interesting. And if we go up to this computer monitor, it's going to ask us to do a system check again, which is weird because it only asks us to do that every 30 days. So we'll run the system check. And like I said, they're going to turn off the lights in sequence. They'll turn back on. I did mention in another video that the keypad up there can actually be activated. I actually have another video up for that. It's a pretty short video in case you need to get that achievement. That is the same code that you'll be using to escape the facility at the end of the game. You just have to input that early, and you gain access to another room. So, and you'll notice that the water valves are still in the closed position, and for some of them, and you'll have to check again. So, but it's weird that we were just a few minutes away, and we got back into this room. So you should be by this point pretty aware of what might be going on, or at least that should pique your interest as to what's going on. So we'll go back to the quarters for the next part of the game, and we'll have to turn off our alarm, even though we were outside of the room coming in to turn off the alarm. The bed's already made. That's kind of strange. So we have to do a system check for our quarters. We didn't do that before because we started the game on day one when we were first in our quarters. Over here, there's just a bathroom and then also a locker room. The contents of the lockers will change periodically throughout the process of the game. The bathroom will also go through different stages of looking clean and dirty as it progresses. There's a reference even to the Demolition Man movie. If you press over here, you can see the 3 seashells, which I thought was a good reference. I actually think there's a reference to that as well in one of the bathrooms in Deus Ex Human Revolution, I think. It might be Mankind Divided. I'm not sure. But yeah, so you run the system check here, and now we can go back to the greenhouse. And there's sticky notes around the base in different places. And you might think now that we've entered this room that time may have progressed again, that it might be a different month or something like that, and it's not. So time hasn't progressed. So one of the great elements of this game is that it's unreliable narration. We're not really sure what's going on. Everything's sort of about deceit. sort of making you feel lost within it. So now we're back in this room, and it must be earlier than what the first time was that we got here. So as you can see, it's a different month, so we have to run a system check. So I think this game, being essentially, I don't know if this is a fair commentary that I can make, but I've been trying to think about this game actually, because I've been spending some time with it, trying to fight the motion sickness it was giving me, and trying to put together these videos. I think this game is sort of like an anti-montage, if such a sentence has ever been uttered. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but instead of it explaining a story in a linear way, and instead of it just being sort of obvious, mundane, day-to-day activity, instead it is breaking that up and showing it in a way that makes the the user, but the player character, feel as if all the days are not just running together, but completely disjointed and flipping back on themselves. You're living in both real time and memory at the same time. And I just think that's a really interesting way of telling a story. So we're back in the kitchen for another run through. We'll just do a system check. I'm actually not sure if this one is earlier or later. This is the one room I couldn't figure out if it was earlier or later than our first trip here to the kitchen, the first time that we were here. There is a Know Your Rights as an employee sign over there, but I don't remember what was on the screen the first time we were here, actually. I didn't look at that. I've tried to record this video a couple times, but I don't remember what was on the screen there the first time. The light is still outside the window, but we can't gain access to the food room just yet, the food storage. Oh, and now that we've come back to this room, there are some trees that are dead. Actually, one of the units that's entirely removed. I actually don't know where this is in the game. I don't know if it's somewhere like outside the station, or if it's been moved somewhere else, or maybe some of the oh, there's a couple down here that have been moved away, so they're not like bolted to the floor or replanted. I didn't know that. Okay, so those are okay. That clears up that mystery then. All right, so we will run. There's something in that? No. Sorry, there's a few things I never noticed my first time, actually. My first, second, or third time playing through this. So we'll run the system check again. You'll actually notice that some of these valves, like I said before, you can't actually move the valves. You can't actually interact with them. But when this one runs, the water runs out of this one, and it ran through every time. So why this one's dead is actually beyond me. I thought that was an interesting an aspect, because even what you're seeing as what you would accept to be true may actually be a lie. I just think this game does a really, really good job at telling its story and making you not really know what's going on. You can come out here and you can press this little button to remove the crossing that's in your way, or the barricade that's in your way. The player character moved oh, the glass just broke under us. That's interesting. And there seems to be a break out there too against the sky. That's weird. That's kind of similar to where the camera was recording us, or at least the same red lights. So the player character moved a chair out here, and it looks like there was a book that we wrote down codes. So this contextualizes somewhat the codes that you will use for the administrator terminal codes. For the achievements. Unfortunately, you can't get those achievements while in game. I did make a separate video for that, for you to... oh, our alarm's going off again. I'll have to turn that off. So I did make a separate video for all the codes, for those of you that may see this video first. And that way you can get all of them. You can't get them in game. They will still do the same visual effects, but they won't give you the achievements. I'm not sure why, so you have to get them on the main menu. So we're on our way back to the lounge, and this is going to be the last time we go through the lounge. And this right here is probably, I'd say, 1 or 2 months in to our stay on the station. That's just my guess for that one. So we'll go up here. We'll do the system check one more time. So the only thing that was required, I should have mentioned this, I apologize, when we went back to our room, the only thing that was necessary in that room was to turn off the alarm. I actually didn't go up to the screen because I knew there wasn't a check. I'm sorry about that. That probably was unfair to you. But there was no system check to do that. Instead, the system is broken on that screen, and all it will show is mental stability test written in every way possible the whole way down. But you do still have administrator access on that terminal because you're never revoked from a administrator terminal access. So this is the last time that we're going to the kitchen. This is actually a setup for the achievement that's tied directly to the dispenser that's on the wall, and that's for the achievement Nice Catch. Now I do have a separate video for that one as well. We can try to see if we can get it. This monitor has to acknowledge your presence in order for you to get, and I didn't get it. So I was able, in another attempt of this video, I was able to get to catch the bottle, but this time I wasn't able to. So, but if you are having trouble with it, you can, there's actually a checkpoint in that hallway. If you need to, you can hit escape. You'll exit out of the game. Like you'll hit 3 and exit out of the game, and you can relaunch the game to reset at your checkpoint. There is no reload checkpoint though as an option in the game, unfortunately. So, but good luck with that achievement. It's a bit tricky, but it's not as terrible as it might seem. There's even a code in the game for the Barry Allen achievement that if you type into any terminal that you have access to, you can use the flash.cmd, and for the flash, the T is capital and the F for the flash is capital .cmd, and you can use super speed and catch the bottle in midair when it falls out. I feel bad. That's the third time I've probably mentioned that between all the videos I've used for this game, so I'm sorry if that's repetitive, if that's been annoying, but that will be the last time that you hear that. So you'll come down here, you'll see that this is where the garbage, the waste gets tossed. Even some things look like they missed it. This is the emergency exit. We need to get access into there. So we'll go to the control room. Now this is obviously the first time that you'll see the control room. We'll come up here and we have to do a system check. And this is the full station. And it's going to run a check on all of the systems that are important for all the rooms that we visit. Now it does say that the water system is operational, so it's interesting that the water system stays operational for the entire length of the game, except for the very final time that you're in the greenhouse when only one pipe works, and it's for a dead tree. So even this check here, even though the air system says it's below specification, the computer system says there's an unknown error, the really interesting thing is you can't even take this as truth. So it's really interesting that everything, including your character, is an unreliable narrator. I don't know. This game is just really an interesting experience. So we'll hit 5 to reboot the station. Hit yes. This just takes all the non-essential systems are turned off, and you get a kind of weird screen. But those aren't monitors, those are windows. So this is where the game kind of lifts its mask, and where I thought this was all a simulation, that you were on Earth, that you were in a facility, and it was a 1-year project, because now we are outside the station. I thought it was a 1-year project for you to train by yourself and to see how life in space treated you, whether or not you could take it. And I thought you were going to walk out of the facility and you were going to have failed, and you were going to, caught on the railing, sorry about that. And you were going to fail, and you are going to have to deal with the consequences of that. And you have to walk all the way out. You're now on this very, very strange paneling. And you'll even notice as you get further down here that there's books. There's even one of the bottles of the food product that we saw that I tried to catch and failed to do so. And we'll find an airlock, and we'll go in here, and then we'll find on these tiles on the wall that there are codes crossed out all the way around until you reach there. And 0451 is the last code that's crossed out, and the process of going along with the game, as the game has trained you for the entire time to do repetitive things, you will type in 0, 4, 5, 2. It'll accept it, and that is the same code that you want to put in that keypad that's on the wall above the walkways in the greenhouse, and you'll be able to get the code. You'll be able to get the achievement because the walkways will move, and it'll open a hangar bay, and you can walk in there, and you will get the achievement. You should not be here, you should not be here, or you're not supposed to be here. I'm sorry, I apologize. I do have a video for that one up as well if you need any visualization for that. So I thought we were going to open this door and I was going to walk out into the desert, and it turns out no. Again, unreliability. I have now flung myself into space. And as you can see, you flung yourself into space on the very last day of the mission. The ship is coming to save you. If you read the emails, you'll find out that the people that are dropping things off are dropping off supplies and movie reels. That's why you only had books to watch. It's a really sad and kind of crippling ending, but and I almost hate to say this for like a free-to-play game, but like I don't really care what kind of budget you have. I just want really good stories. And like playing through this game to build this video project for showcasing everything really kind of made me appreciate how we tell stories. I think this was a really, really good story. And it's really short. Even with all these projects, I think I'm still at under 5 hours. And I've tried to, I've done a lot of takes specifically of this video, but I'm pretty happy with the ending of this, of showcasing everything for everybody. I think this is a really cool video game to play, and I'm really glad that I had the opportunity to put together a series of videos for you. So that is the Beat the Game achievement, and that is all. You should have all 12 achievements now. For everything, if you've watched it all, unless you've gotten everything yourself and you just needed to see how to finish it if you were as stuck as I am. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next guide or video. Please take care.